Welcome back to another video where we look at a model answer for the Foundational Catholic Theology paper on the EDUCAS GCSE RE papers. As you can see in front of us, we have got another explain question, which again is phrased in that very catchy way of explain from either Catholic Christianity and Judaism or two Christian traditions beliefs about the creation stories in Genesis. Now, in terms of the ways to go about this, there are many ways. What I've done is kind of given you a generic introduction, and then what Catholics would say, and then a fundamental Christian viewpoint, and then kind of developed it from there. So first and foremost, Genesis is the first book of the Old Testament. The word Genesis means beginning. Chapter 1 of Genesis describes how God creates the world in 6 days. Chapter 2 focuses on the creation of man and woman, and it shows how God created man from dust and woman was created from man to be a companion. So what I've done here is I've established for myself and for the examiner that there are two creation accounts, which obviously is going to help me when I get down here. And that is a point to really think about with your revision. If you've got content and you can use it to make life easy for you later on in answers by writing an introduction or by just defining some terms, the 30 seconds or so that it might take you to do that is going to pay dividends later on in your answer. So if we start with the Catholic viewpoint, so Catholics believe that Genesis contains important teachings, but they read it as a myth, and therefore do not accept the creation story as a literal account. Genesis 2 shows that humans were created in the image of God. This is known as Imago Dei. So again here there's a couple of points that obviously can explode and expand and turn into really detailed points. Firstly, that we understand that it's a myth, that it's a non-literal account of creation, and that you've got Genesis 2 talking about the creation of humans in God's image, and therefore be able to talk about Imago Dei. Because I've talked about the two types of the two forms of the creation story, I can now talk about it down here. So a fundamentalist Christian is going to view it as a literal account. They're going to say that God created the world in 6 24-hour periods of time. Adam and Eve were the first humans, they were the beginning of our species, and just kind of take time to kind of fully explain that a fundamental Christian is going to believe Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 to be actually factual. We've then got the scientific account that conflicts, and again here I've put this in just as a little bit of a warning, because hopefully you will know and you will identify that, well, this is actually a Catholic viewpoint. If you don't label it as such, you're not going to get credit. So if you did that and then included that but without identifying it as a Catholic teaching, you're not going to get the marks. So do make sure that where necessary you are making it very clear that this is a Catholic viewpoint, and therefore Catholics are going to say that the scientific account conflicts with Genesis because Catholics are going to believe ... Okay, so hopefully you found that video useful, and there's a few little tips and hints in there as how to structure your answer as well. And as ever, please like and subscribe for more content like this.